Good day. If you would like to listen to a 42-year-old grown adult drone on for about 15 minutes, about possible conclusion, although I guess there never is a conclusion, possible conclusion to an ongoing saga, you've come to the right place. So, I made the joke in the previous video that, I'm in a dark place if I go back to the Medium 909. But you know what? I need to stop being so hard on myself about going back to the Medium 909. This, apart from being, you can go back, watch the videos, a touch long, a touch sloppy in the heat, long shell I mean, and yeah, a touch sloppy in the heat. I've mostly had many very good sessions in this skate. Particularly, it got the gears turning because I was having a problem with my big toe in the Shmedium and in the standards. It was just starting to jam up there too much. The shape of a lot of toe boxes when you downsize is very rounded. And the closest I got to comfort was skating the standard without the wrap in the liner. I could skate it comfortably, but support-wise, it was lacking a little bit. They're skatable, but they're not like you couldn't have them on for hours and hours and hours. This skate, you definitely could, but I went back, and I was just, I seriously, I was getting into dork mode maximum. I was rewatching other people's 909 reviews, Shmedium reviews. I watched any skating product placements in this skate. I watched videos where I talked about skating this skate. This one specifically, the Ritter, I don't think I had anything bad to say about this skate apart from the shell feeling a little bit long. This liner is super comfortable. It looks, this skate, look at it. Look at this skate. It looks amazing. I looked at this skate, I said, wow, what a beautiful skate. And this frame, actually, I went back and footage-wise, I didn't give this frame enough of a chance because of weight. And then when you think of like the stuff that we've done in wizard frames are a weightier frame. Heavy is not necessarily bad. And the way that this frame matches 270 specifically. I don't skate 270 enough, 270 flat enough. The way this frame matches the boot and the fact that it's max 58, it's just hefty. Look at the bridges on this thing. I didn't give this frame enough of a chance. So the last session I had, I put these on and they felt good instantly. Not only did I highly suggest skating 87A, although the Kamloops streets have gored. I skated these in the heat in the summertime, possibly anti-rocker at the old skate park. I did something in these wheels where 87A is going to have a rough time in some circumstances. So you see a little bit of urethane gore on this top wheel. Second wheel is okay. Highly suggest skating soft wheels on a frame that's this solid. It feels so good. Everything felt good though. The rough pavement felt good. The response felt good. Grinds felt good. I did wizardy stuff. Toe and heel roll stuff felt good. This liner was super comfortable. I will say one thing that I did, recommendation from Pat Ritter, is I got this Spenco gel shock absorber, and I'm going to get these now for my other 909s. I could just take this out and put it in other skates, but I'm lazy and these are cheap and they stick in quite nice. But I'll tell you what, the heel cup, the way this cups around the liner, it holds really, really well and it's pretty low profile. So I find this works better than anything that I've tried, that it gives you the shock absorption, but it's not overly squishy like the Intuition shock absorber. So I highly recommend these. Thank you, Pat Ritter, for that recommendation. Look at that. The way it wraps around the heel, suctions it all in. He also recommended trying these to fill out the shell more. I'm not quite there yet, but I will say, the 909, the new 909 liner in this shell, it's a little bit too swimmy, moves around a little bit, so I might try stacking, doing something like that. I think Sean Kelso posted a setup photo once of his beer skate, and he might do this. I'm not totally sure though. So these are Spenco as well. I can't remember which ones these are, but I'll experiment with those a little bit. Highly recommend these though. The Spenco gel heel pad things. They stick in the skate. Whatever the gel is made out of, they stick in the skate really nice, and the heel cup, they just match the shell really well. So highly recommend that. So I'll say this skate, the medium shell, is almost all positives and no negatives. The positives of skating the medium with my foot size just really outweigh the negatives. Sure, there might be a little bit of slop on tricks once in a while. Obviously in the summer they're gonna flex out a little bit and the shell might feel a little bit long, but everything else is good. And also just look at these. I know I said it, but like I look down at this and I feel really good. To the point that I'm not gonna claim it fully, but I'm pretty sure I'm a medium shell 909 person. And not with the premiums, but with the old style Intuitions that came in the 909s that filled out the shell more. Because the premiums and the new one, too much space around here. But I will experiment with filling this in, like I said, because the top part of this liner is designed really well for the shell. Yeah, to the point where I might order another set of Ritters. They're that good. I think they're my favorite 909. And then I might get a set of Moopies. Just because if they're cheap and I love the color of that frame, the Moopie frame. I might even be a them frame person. I'm not totally sure, but I didn't give it enough of a chance. I do find it to be an underrated frame now. Specifically the braces and how thick they are. So in comparison, it's almost been a year. My son is almost a year old, and I got these the day before he came, or I skated these. I got them a little bit before that, but I skated these November 21st, the day before he was born, which we're coming up on. And I think sometimes you have that excited period with the skate where your brain can kind of disregard some things of how they feel. I remember that first session being really good. You can search, if you just search on this Patreon, a 909 or Shmedium or Ritter or them frames, there's so much that I like that this is a skating notebook that I can look back and reference stuff as like, what did I think of that? Or how did I feel about that? I'll say right now that I've had, since that session, I've had more bad sessions on this skate than good, and I have not been able to figure it out. But I will tell you, with this liner, this might become like a big wheel or wizard skate, or if that's it. For grinding, I'm not a fan of this skate for grinds. I feel like it's closer to a size 9 than a 9.5. I have an M12 here. You probably won't be able to tell, but the 10 M12 used to be there's the same shell as the 9 Lightning. Those old TRS Lightnings that I have is labeled a 9 in the shell. So as you can see, this is closer to like a 8.5, 9 than a 9.5. And the M shell I would say is closer to like a 10 and a half. They sometimes even feel like they could be like an 11 foot could fit in there with a 10.5 premium. The other thing is even this is known to be a narrow skate, the M12. The toe box on the M12, like I put my foot in here, my foot fits so much more comfortably. So I need that extra, I don't know how many millimeters space, but this is not as wide as this skate. What's Jad Roller Vlog talked about this? It's hard to see, but it's a narrower skate than this one. So I found that I've just been more trying to figure this skate out, and I have more bad sessions than good in it. Great for Wizard. They felt great with the Wish frames, like the classic Wish, but still Wish frames feel even better on this. I find with like a 270 millimeter frame or bigger, 260 would be pretty nice on this, maybe feel a little bit short, but 270 and the classic Wish on these is like just such a nice match for how long the skate is. It's not going to be as like responsive at first, but just comfortable and stable, and you can stomp your landings. Really good. And this is hard to explain, but something about when you flex forward in this one and your toes, your heel stays in place. The toe point, the way it flexes, it feels like the foot is actually working in this one. This, it feels like my foot muscles are constantly tensed up, which makes grinds feel more dangerous when I jump on them. It's really hard to explain. This feels like a flat plank where I can fully use my foot muscles, stretch my foot out, obviously not stretch it out too much in the front, but the twitchiness, it's twitchy and dangerous feeling for grinds. And I've taken some really weird falls in this shell. I think it has to do with the cuff and my height and the sole plate. Because you even look at, it's weird that the sole plate is pretty close to the same as an M12 sole plate, but I think the M12 sole plate comes out further here, and at the heel it comes out further. So it's around the same length, but this you get just a little bit more how it comes out. So I'll keep this in my repertoire, but for straightforward aggressive skating, I can't do Shmedium. I think if my foot was a little bit smaller, I would have a good time. Something about also when you try and flex forward, it doesn't feel like your foot sits flat. It feels like for me, it feels like my toes want to curl. So I'll use this for big wheel or Wizard. Them 80s, to get a Them 80s setup for this might be pretty fun. I just couldn't get on with it. But I'm happy it exists. I even supported the fundraiser originally. I put the maximum amount of money to the fundraiser. I was a huge advocate for this. But it doesn't hit like the Medium does. Which this is something that I wanted for so long. And it's just not quite there. If you're really into ninja precision airs, toe, heel rolls, and you're not a tall person and you're lighter and your foot is maybe closer to a 27 or a 26.5, this would be very good. But I'm pretty sure I'm a medium shell person with a longer frame. But you know how this goes. I'm not going to base everything off of one session, but maybe I'll make a pledge right now to commit to skating medium shell with 270 frames or bigger. So like Wish. I'll try those creates, we'll see how it goes. until the standards get here, which I'm not sure when that is, but the standard V2. If the standard V2 fits a little bit longer and has a little bit more give, it could be a perfect fit. But this. So thank you, Pat Ritter, for being inspiration. And I was also thinking about Walt Austin. You know, we all focus on downsizing our skates. He always, like, his skates always looked big, but in a good way. It could be because he's a shorter guy, but I never really think about if skates look too big. If they look too small, it almost looks weirder than if they look too big. And these feel long, but when you look down at them and you see them in footage, they actually look quite perfect. I don't know, I haven't skated the white ones yet. I was thinking about it, but I don't think we're there yet. Because white skates can look really big. Also, now that I have the gray Intuitions, I have 2 good liners to use in the medium shell. 2 good them liners. I'm a big fan of these liners, how they fill out the shell for the 27.5 foot. It's like your foot being wrapped in a shock absorber. So that's all of that. Keep skating or something. Can't believe this twist. I really didn't think I would have a good session in the Medium 909. But I looked back and I've only mostly had good sessions in the Pat Ritter 909. Keeps surprising me, this rollerblading business.